Hello, everyone. Welcome to Body of Christ Real Talk. This is Joseph Brownlee, your host. Welcome to Sunday's show. I want to talk about something that's very close to my heart and something that I'm also experiencing myself. And I want people to really listen to what I have to say as a believer. Uh, this struggle that's going on in many people's lives. And let me tell you the lives that I am talking about. The people's lives I'm talking about is the people, first of all, that struggles with dementia or Alzheimer's. Dementia of Alzheimer's. This topic touches my heart because of a family member that's my in my surroundings. You know, it was several family members, but this one is very close to me. But I'm not going to get into that right now, because that's not really important. The important thing is what I want to talk about is people that's struggling with the effects of a friend, a loved one, a family man, a woman, a wife, husband, a wife, or a child, well, children, whatever, that's struggling with mental disabilities or dementia, anything like that. What they have to go through, what challenges that we have. Now, what I want to talk to anybody that's listening to me, not only believers, not only Christians, but I want to talk to anyone that's listening to me. I feel your struggle. I'm not going to say I feel your pain. And you really want to know why. A lot of people ask why. And let me give you a few examples, because I joined a few groups that's struggling with loved ones in their family that struggles with dementia or Alzheimer's, or, and the reason I do this because I know about the mental struggles that I went through personally myself with maladaptive daydreaming and ADHD and autism. So I got a close heart when people struggle with that. I'm very sympathetic with that type of struggle. That a somewhat normal person wouldn't be as much sympathetic because they don't understand it, because they don't know how it is to be in our head. And I don't know what it is to be in the head of a person that's struggling with dementia or Alzheimer's. And that's the biggest challenge, I believe, what a lot of people struggle with, because they don't understand it. They don't know how to cope with it. They don't know what to do. And coping is very important when someone is struggling with dementia or any type of mental illness battle. The way I'm learning is trying to cope with it. How should we cope with it as people that have members struggling with dementia? Very close people that struggle with dementia, mom, dads, sister, brothers, husbands, or wives. That struggle with dementia. It used to be a time where dementia was basically, the name Alzheimer's was more prevalent. Alzheimer's is mostly known around the elderly. But it got to the point now that the middle-aged are struggling not only with brain fog, but is struggling with dementia. And I know there's a reason why that it's not being addressed in the medical world, especially here in America. That is part of the problem. I don't have no proof, but I have no doubt, with my training in nutrition and health and everything, and finding out certain things that cause brain fog and even kicks in dementia, plus other things that happens that's been put in us that causes the speed of a memory loss, let alone radiation and, all the activities that we get into and stand on the computers a long time and phones. It's just partial things that happens that cause a lot of memory loss and different things like that. But I'm not here to talk about that because I don't have enough education on that. But what I can say, I want to talk about the people that struggle, that are struggling because of someone in their family struggling, or a loved one, I may say, struggles with dementia or Alzheimer's. I can relate. I joined a few groups, and what I have noticed when I joined, just like when I joined the MDD groups, maladaptive daydreaming groups, I noticed the hurt, and these are real hurts. It might sound cold, it might sound selfish, what some of these people what people would call complaining. They need to be more humble. I can understand, because what a person that is not dealing is dealing with a person that's struggling with dementia is the same way dealing somewhat with a person that's struggling with a drug addiction or alcohol addiction, alcoholic or something like that. It takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on the majority of the people that goes through that. Even the ones that lives in a far distance, it takes a toll. But my thing is, any type of disability takes a toll on another person, or takes a toll on the person. But dementia, what makes dementia so destructive or so hurting that there's very little chance of it being reversed once you get to a certain stage. While a drug addict and an alcoholic, they got rehab centers and stuff like that that can help them cope and maybe even reverse most of the time and get through it. But when it comes to dementia, a lot of dementia just continues going forward and it doesn't subsides. It gets stronger when it comes to dementia and Alzheimer's. So it's a very deadly disease, and they call it third stage diabetes now. So it's a really deadly disease for that person that's struggling with dementia or Alzheimer's. But it's also a mental struggle for the ones that have to live through it and take care of their person, because it can be very distressful and very stressful and depressing. And this is just real talk. And when I read a lot of people's stories, I feel a lot of hurt that people, and these are middle-aged people that's the majority of their life they cannot enjoy no more because they're taking care of their loved ones with dementia. Or it might be some type of physical activities in there when the dementia person might hit them, might be struggling. I haven't read this, but I know something that is going on. And it might be some even physical abuse or verbal abuse, and I know about that and everything, that the dementia person might cuss them out, and it really never was a curse or anything like that. So it's a lot of things you have to deal with when you're dealing with dementia. And a lot of times people feel hopeless. They don't know what to do. A lot of believers and Christians, let alone the unsaved, and this is for everybody, you just don't know what to do. Now, what I'm saying is, do I have the answer? No, I don't have the answer. I do not have the answer, but I have somewhat of a helpful solution. And the helpful solution is this, because I only got 7 minutes and 35 seconds. The helpful solution that I recommend is take a course and a study on dementia, if you have not done it already. These are for the ones, if you want to know what you should do, what to expect. See, what we need to understand, and when it comes to any type of addiction, not only addiction, but any type of mental struggle or battle or some type of disease, we need to study up on it so we can know what to expect or have some type of idea what to expect. And I think when it comes to dementia, you have many free courses out there. You can go to YouTube, and there's many free courses out there that will help you to teach you about the 7 dimensions of dementia. It's 7 steps. Just like 4-stage cancer and diabetes, there are 7 steps of dementia, that we must train on. 1 to 7. 7 being the final steps, even into death, towards death. So it's 7 steps of dementia. And people that's struggling and don't know what to do, and I'm just talking to you, not the ones that know what to do. Not saying it's going to not take the pain away and the depression away, but it does kind of water it down some in a sense, or it kind of takes some of the fire out when you understand the certain signs that your loved one is going through. It doesn't shock you as much. But I know it doesn't with me, because I know that's just not that person anymore. That person's mind is deteriorating. So if that person is kind of physical, or they cuss you out, or they're not eating right, or they just doing this or doing that, or they're not mobile or whatever like that, that is part of the dementia stage cycle. And if you go around, if you study dementia through YouTube and through articles and different things like that, you would notice that most of those signs and cycles are the same. So you're not seeing nothing different that other dementias people are not going through or families are not going through. So that should be some type of, I wouldn't say uplifting, but this should be something that lets you know that you are not the only one going through these things, and the signs and the kind of tactics that, not going to say tactics, but I'm not good with my words, but the kind of things that the dementia patient is doing is nothing different than another dementia patient, because they're all the same. You can even look at the actor Bruce Willis, and there's different types of dementia. I forgot which one he has. the things that I see in Bruce Willis reminds me of the loved one that is struggling with. My dad struggles with dementia. And I spend a lot of time with him more than any other family member, not because I'm the only one caring. It's just I just happen to be there with him and close by him, and we live together. So I see this every day. And I learn, and you don't have to take a full course. You can just learn the early dimensions of it, dimensions of a person that's struggling with dementia. So my suggestion for the ones that's hurt and angry, because I understand it's a lot of anger. And sometimes it's a justifiable anger because the majority of life has been taken over, especially if you're young, because you got to take care of your loved one and of dementia. And that's not a good thing. It's easy for me to say, man, we need to pray. And you just need to stop thinking about yourself and everything like that, blah, blah. Just think about them. I partially halfway agree with that because even the Lord Jesus Christ wants us to have a life. And his desire is not for men and women, period, let alone men and women of God, to spend 60 to 70, 80% of their life with the person that struggle with dementia. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not selfish. It's just a part of a normal cycle that you're not doing nothing with your life. You're not going to school. You're not able to work like you want to. You're not even enjoying it because you're taking care of the loved one. And that takes a toll. And this is a real thing. It does that. But my point is this. There are certain exercises that we can do, and one of them is learning more about dementia. Another suggestion is it is things that we can do. Some might have to do with nurses in the house. Some might have to do with caretakers. Some might have to do with different things. So it's different things you can do to free up your head and free up your mind and start doing other things, finding other hobbies and stuff like that. So everybody works different and do things different. I have things I do. I don't let this stop me from living my life. And I will not let this stop me from living my life. But at the same time, that does not mean I'm selfish. Don't ever let nobody tell you that. That means I can take care of my dad and be there with my dad, but still not giving up, the life and the things that I would like to do. And it's just different things that you can do now. Now, it's a struggle when you're the only one doing it, but it's not a struggle. We have several people, family members, and some friends that gets all together, or communities. So it's different ways, but I don't know your situation. But my solution, first of all, if you don't have nobody, and that's sadly to say, if you don't have nobody, and if you are financially able or have some type of insurance, get some caregivers, caretakers or whatever like that, or to the point that you can put them in a situation or some type of home. And I know a lot of people are against that they can take care of them better, especially when they get to that 5th or 6th or 7th stage. Some people want to keep them home, but it comes to a point they need hospice care because they're in that final cycle. And you won't know that unless you study about it and you know the science and you educate yourself about that last cycle. So you have to come to the point I got to let go and let God, that saying, and I'm using this very sincerely, and let hospice care take care of them. People say they're waiting on God. God might have you to just let it go and put them in hospice care and visit them there. So that's for people to have situations like that. I have nothing against that. That's a good idea as long as they're taking care of them. And the final stages I'm talking about. But when it's the early stages, there's a chance that the dementia can be reversed or slowed down. But I'm just talking about the later stages. I'm not talking about the early stages because there's always a chance it can be reversed. But I'm talking about the people that struggle with the ones at the later stages, maybe the late 5th and 6th stage of dementia, or even the 7th. There is solutions. One of the big solutions you need to understand is take a free course or a little paid course. Allison's is a good course that you could take. That you can learn about dementia. You could start on the stage where your loved one is at and go from there. But learn something about dementia that will help you cope with what's coming. That's the best I can tell you. You pray, you stay strong, so you won't get angry at the person. And that's very important. Don't get angry at the person because remember that one that you knew is not the same person in mind and in thought anymore. And we have to learn how to cope with that by certain exercise and learning more about the disease that they are struggling with. That's what I have to say about that subject. I hope that helps and everything. And God bless you all. This is Joseph Brownlee, Body of Christ, Real Talk, Health Talk. God bless you all. Love you all. Peace out.